realizing that 10 years from now, no one's going to be asking for 10 blue links. You're going to ask for answers. So we might as well start it today.
This Indian is the reason why today Google search is in danger. See, for the last 2 decades, many search engines came to compete Google, like Yahoo, Bing, DuckDuckGo, etc. But none could even come close to Google. Even trillion-dollar giant Microsoft, who had early 2000s Internet Explorer and massive Windows distribution, couldn't beat Google's monopoly with its Bing search. But today, Google is facing a serious threat. In just last 2 years, one website went from 8.5 million visitors a month to just 264,000. And in 2025 alone, Google's traffic to publisher dropped by 33% globally. Not because their content got worse, but because one company changed how we search forever. And the crazy part is the company that did all of this wasn't a trillion-dollar giant. It was a small startup from San Francisco founded by a guy from Chennai who didn't even have the money to train their own models.
Please welcome Aravind Srinivas.
Search engine startup looking to take on Google, raising $74 million in a round led by some big names.
You all have tripled your valuation, I believe, twice.
AI company Perplexity, and it's taking a lot of market share.
His name is Aravind Srinivas, and in just 3 years, he did something no one else did for the last 2 decades. He changed how we search forever. And for a moment, everyone thought his startup Perplexity could eventually kill Google's monopoly. So today we are going to understand how did a small startup who didn't even had the money to train their own models becomes the biggest threat to Google, and is this finally the moment where Google actually has something to worry about? To understand why beating Google is such a big deal, you need to understand Google is not just a search engine. It is a whole ecosystem, all feeding into each other. Every product gave Google more data made search smarter, and smarter search kept more users. It was a loop nobody could break, until this guy decided not to compete Google at all. Instead, made Google's way of doing things feel outdated. It all started in December 2022 when OpenAI launches ChatGPT, and for the first time, people realized that they could directly get answer to their questions. Unlike traditional Google search, which provided hundreds of blue links and needed much time and effort to get the correct answer. Initially, Google wasn't worried because until then, OpenAI was just a small company of 200 people. But things started to escalate when Microsoft enters the market and acquire 49% stake in OpenAI. Now Google needs to act fast because if they didn't, their majority of the search business, which drives 80% of the revenue, will eventually collapse. So Google announces emergency situation code red and stopped all their unwanted projects to review on this matter, and back to back started launching their own models like Bard and then Gemini. On the other side, even Microsoft started to integrate ChatGPT in all their products and launches Copilot. Meanwhile, many small startups didn't even think to enter this space because training foundational model take billions of dollars in cash, and there are already big giants like Google and Microsoft who had unlimited cash and resources. But here, Arvind saw something different. He has worked as a researcher at OpenAI, Google DeepMind, and Google Brain. He understood these models from the inside, and he noticed two big problems that nobody was solving. Firstly, at that time, if you ask ChatGPT about any current news or update, it won't be able to answer it because it was trained till a specific date only. Secondly, it didn't provide any kind of source to verify whether the thing said by AI is true or not. And coming from a research background, this bothered Arvind. Because in research, if you can't verify a claim, it means nothing. And these two problems becomes the foundation of perplexity. But identifying the gap in the market still doesn't solve that he has no money to train their own foundational models. Arvind knew that they can't compete on these giants on money and resource metrics, which is to build their own foundational model. So while every other giant were building their own foundational model, Perplexity played with different set of rules. They didn't build their own model. Instead, they simply integrated all best model available in the market into one platform and added their real-time search layer on top. So Perplexity was basically AI plus search engine. You ask a question, it searches the live web and provide you the best personalized answer with citations. This decision gave Perplexity two key benefits. Firstly, they smartly placed itself outside the core AI model race into another category as AI search engine race. While OpenAI and Google were spending billions of dollars competing and constantly upgrading their models, Perplexity just used them all and focused on the product experience instead. Secondly, when DeepSeek launched and disrupted the whole AI world in early 2025, OpenAI and Google needed months to respond and upgrade their models. Perplexity just integrated DeepSeek into their platform within days. This is how a startup with almost no money outsmarted billion-dollar giants, not by building better technology, by choosing not to play their game at all. And the market responded. In 2022, Perplexity was handling 90,000 queries per month. By May 2025, that number hit 780 million queries per month. Their valuation went from $150 million to $20 billion in just 2 years, getting investments from Nvidia and Jeff Bezos. But by May 2024, the story hits a twist. Google launches AI overviews. AI generated summaries right at the top of the search result, which is similar to what Perplexity was doing. And later, every other giant started to integrate search into their platform, providing real time information with citation. And this is where Perplexity's moat started to fade. Although Perplexity is much more accurate than other models, still it has seen a stagnation in user growth by that time. And there is a deeper financial problem too. Every Perplexity query costs real money. It invokes an AI model, runs a live web search, and processes all that information in real time. While Google AI summaries cost them a fraction in cost because they have mastered search for more than 20 years. So if Perplexity didn't convert majority of their users into paid subscribers, they will eventually run out of money faster. In this situation also, Aravind is constantly under headlines while making mad offers in the market. In February 2025, when Elon's USAID controversy was everywhere, Aravind tweeted Elon challenging him to stop if he can from securing a funding from USAID. Then in August 2025, Perplexity made an offer to buy Google Chrome at $34.5 billion, while their own valuation was sitting out at $18 billion. But here's the thing, that offer generated more media coverage for Perplexity than any product could have. And while everyone was debating on these topics, Perplexity started to pivot. They launched their own AI browser Comet to again make traditional browsers irrelevant. And recently, they even launched Perplexity Computer, which placed them as an AI employee working 24 by 7 on their device, handling very complex tasks. So they are trying, but ultimately Perplexity didn't crush Google. In fact, the moment Google entered the market, Perplexity's growth started slowing down because a trillion-dollar giant who has been leading the market since 20 years is not going down that easily. But ultimately, I think it was never about killing Google. It was about the change in how we search forever. A change that a small company can compete with giants on their own grounds. But Aravind Srinivas, being born in India and a student at IIT, chose to build and lead abroad, not in India. This is not a new story. We have seen this trend among many sectors. So, if you want to know why Indians being talented choose to build and lead abroad, watch this video. I'll see you there. Thank you.